Franks.
Thank you, Mr President. I seek leave to make a brief explanation before asking the Minister for Primary Industries and Regional Development a question on the impacts of recreational fishing in the Adelaide Dolphin Sanctuary.
Leave is granted.
PIRSA undertook a review of recreational fishing management in the sanctuary, the Adelaide Dolphin Sanctuary, in late 2022. The options paper for the review found there is a high likelihood of interactions between dolphins in the sanctuary and recreational fishing gear, and that there were high consequences for those interactions, including the entanglement and at times fatal injury to the dolphins. In recognition of the danger posed to the dolphins, in October 2022, a temporary cease fishing order was announced, ordering the cease of all recreational fishing activities within 50 metres of a sighted dolphin. This was a precautionary approach taken by the department with the intention of lowering the risk of interactions between recreational fishing activity and the dolphins in the sanctuary during a period of increased recreational fishing corresponding with kingfish season. The PIRSA report also notes that it is not only kingfish that frequents the port that sees the use of heavy fishing equipment. We also have mulloway, which are there year-round, and a number of stingrays and whalers. That order expired on January 31st this year. In a letter from constituents on 11th of March this year to yourself as the Minister for Primary Industries and Regional Development, you stated that these limits were in place to allow time to finalise a review on the fishing arrangements and to make long-term recommendations. It has now been 6 months since the report was released and no recommendations have been made. My questions to the Minister are: when will PIRSA provide recommendations regarding fishing in the Adelaide Dolphin Sanctuary? Why was the decision to let cease fishing order based on the kingfish season, given there are at least 6 other animals fished in the Adelaide Dolphin Sanctuary that see the use of the heavy tackle, and given PIRSA's own review recognises the high risk of using heavy fishing gear on the dolphins within the Adelaide Dolphin Sanctuary, why was the order allowed to lapse, knowing these risks?
Minister for Primary Industries and Regional Development.
Thank you, Mr President, and I thank the honourable member for her question and her ongoing interest in these matters. I note also she's involved in a select committee of this place, which I think has delivered its interim report on the Dolphin Sanctuary, and I'm sure there will be further recommendations in the final report, although I'm not sure when that is due to be handed down. The honourable member is correct in that following extensive consultation between the Department of Environment and Water and PIRSA, an options paper was developed to guide review of the current recreational fishing management arrangements in the Port River Barker Inlet section of the Adelaide Dolphin Sanctuary. And the purpose of the options paper, Mr President, was to ascertain the level of risk and define that risk associated with recreational fishing activities and review the suitability of management arrangements to mitigate any interactions from recreational fishing that might have a negative impact of significance on the dolphins in the ADS. The public consultation phase on the options paper commenced in September and did close in October. And I'd also like to thank all of those who made a submission to the PIRSA review of recreational fishing management arrangements. I have received a summary of the feedback, of course, through the consultation report, the consultation process, and a report on the review. Now, we are still working through that and looking at the different options that might be available and appropriate. In terms of why a temporary arrangement was put in place, that was put in place under Section 79 of the Fisheries Management Act 2007, and as the honourable member correctly stated, it prohibited recreational fishing using fishing lines within 50 metres of a sighted dolphin, and that was from the 1st of October 2022 to the 31st of January 2023. The reason for that is that that is a period of increased fishing effort, particularly because of kingfish, yes, but also because of the simple fact of holidays. People are more likely to be going fishing during the holiday season. So that was always intended to be a temporary measure that coincided with a time of peak fishing activity, and now I am continuing to work through the various options and look forward to being able to update the chamber further in the near future.
Supplementary question, the Honourable Ms Franks.
Is the Minister aware of the Easter and school holidays that have just passed?
Minister.
Yes.
Supplementary
Franks,
from the
supplementary
original
question.
answer. When did the Minister receive the summary of the consultation?
Minister.
I'm happy to take that on notice and bring back an answer to the chamber.
Supplementary, final supplementary, Mr.
Supplementary
President.
question, the Honourable Ms Franks.
When will the public be aware of the Minister's action on the consultation and recommendations? When will something actually be announced?
Minister.
As I mentioned, I look forward to being able to make some announcements in the near future.